Hello, I'm Stephen Englander. This is my business show, Between the Spreadsheets. Thank you for joining me. Tonight we've got some intellectual stuff to talk about, but first I just want to remind you that we do film in front of a live audience, and if you'd like to join the audience, the ticket booking system's just below, so do go and have a look and book tickets and come along, because we do have a good chat before the show, and we have a good evening of entertainment going on here. Couple of questions from the audience we were talking about before, so I thought I'd start the show with that, and it's quite a common question that I get asked, because people often employ staff or take on new employees, and they're paying the employees less money than they should be getting, and it's simply because sometimes when somebody starts, especially if they've just left school or university or college, they'll be taxed as if they're working on a day one basis from day one, which means that they're not getting their personal allowance. Every year people can earn a certain amount of tax. At the moment I think it's about 12,000 a year that you can earn without paying tax, and that's spread across the weeks. So for instance, in month one, you can earn £1,000, you don't pay any tax. But if you start in month 4, you've got 4 months worth of allowances, but your employer or yourself don't know this, so you'll start paying tax as if you've not had those allowances. And once you get your tax code or your employee's tax code, it will automatically self-adjust. So do be aware of that as an employer, that there's possibly some back tax you'd have to pay. So do be aware. If you're not sure about all this, just let me know and I'll explain the situation. There's also another question we got in tonight's live audience, which you're not here, but it'd be lovely if you were. Was about VAT, because one client was saying he was trying to pay his VAT, but the VAT won't accept the money because there seems to be some sort of glitch in the system. So this is not uncommon, especially as HMRC are constantly renewing and improving their online systems. And so just keep trying. Make sure you get confirmation from HMRC that yes, they do know you've been trying to pay, and that you just haven't been able to, because sometimes they forget that they've actually told you this. So I thought I'd just cover this as an intro to the show, just to let you know that we are a accountancy show, and if you do have any queries or any questions, you can always contact me. Again, contact details below, so do contact me. Interesting old week. Sammy Kimmens, who's he? Well, I'd never heard of him before I looked in the papers. He was dating, Mick from EastEnders, Danny Dyer, and he was actually dating his daughter, which is a shame, because I think she's going to have a baby with him. But he's just been given a prison sentence for defrauding 2 old men. Out of £36,000, which is quite a lot of money. He got there before you did, didn't he, Graham? Sorry.
Yes, yeah, he did. Yeah.
It's more kids you target, not old people. But it's. Can I not say that? No. Oh, okay.
No, you can't. No.
Well. The thing is, this guy's a former stockbroker, and he's an amateur footballer, so plenty of money around there, but his lifestyle was so high that he couldn't afford to sustain his lifestyle, so he has to go and rob 2 old men by going in and taking money off them to invest. And when you look at the story, it seems really, really stupid from everybody, because first of all, he said to them, I'm going to invest this money by betting on horses. And I just didn't get that. Did you get that, Graham? If an investor came to you, a finance broker or a stockbroker, and said, give me £10,000, I'm going to invest it on the horses, would you give it him?
No, I find that really, really worrying there, and I wonder sort of like how he's sweet talked him and all the rest of it. No, but I don't know. I've probably been ripped off. But it just proved a point, and no one deserves this, but why were they taken in? And older people, is it like with all of us, we don't have to be older, we just want maybe company, or we just want to please. And I think as people get older especially, they like to help younger people. So maybe thought they were getting all this extra attention, maybe they were helping people. And it's something to watch with con men, because it is the way they get to you. Sometimes they paint you an unreasonable deal that is just
it's just, it's too good to be true, which it usually is. But I thought this was just, a bit of an odd one. It's disgraceful, yes, but these people that were conned, were they actually listening to what this guy was saying, or they were so gung-ho? Sometimes greed or FOMO, the fear of missing out, pushes you to make bad investments and bad choices. But I find, do you know, Greg, do you know what I find? One of the people say to me all the time, how do I make money? How do I get on in life? What's stopped me? And do you know what I find? One of the biggest single reasons why people don't actually ever get on.
Go on, what?
It's apathy.
Yeah.
Procrastination. They can't be asked. They don't. Everyone knows. Well, most people know want to get past the basics. They know what to do, but they just don't do it. And I know the amount of times that we contact people and say, "Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing this?" I was with a client this morning who knows he's going to get into trouble with HMRC. He's no fool, but where's his paperwork? So people are not listening. When you're talking to people, they're often waiting for you to finish so they can have their say, and they're not always even listening to you. They're just assuming that they know what you're saying and jump to the end. And I think that is a big problem in management, in business, with employees, with anyone, because no one's actually ever listening. Or maybe that's just my experience, because no one wants to listen.
Can I just jump in there, please?
No, please, no.
No, well, we've got...
Okay, go on, jump in.
I had 2 choices for quote of the day this week.
Yeah.
So we might get to quote of the day later, but one of them was Hunter S. Thompson, and that relates...
Was who, sorry?
Hunter S. Thompson, phenomenal journalist from back in the day. He's dead now. Big hero of mine at one point. But yeah, his was... A man who procrastinates in his choosing will inevitably have his choice made for him by circumstance.
Oh, I'm always saying that, and this is very apt for this conversation.
I think he put it perfectly there. Yeah.
Yeah. People, I think what they're getting at there is you've got a path ahead of you, and if you don't make the hard choices and you don't do what you're supposed to do, you're going to get pushed off that cliff. So my interpretation, I always say to people, you either jump so you can control where you're going to land and the terms of the fall, or you can just get pushed off, and that way you can't control it. And even a small fall can then hurt you then. So you need to be on the ball with things. And I think this thing here is we're going off track a little bit, but I think it's important because people don't listen to anything, and I think people need to know what they're going to do next.
I got to ask you.
Okay,
so,
yeah.
Obviously, like we can mock them or whatever. Like,
I don't mock them because I don't find them funny.
No,
I just think it's a shame.
But yeah, it is a shame. But you're like, how could you give someone 26 grand to bet on horses?
You fall into it.
And well, that's the thing, and everyone is susceptible to their own tailored.
Yeah.
This was obviously a tailored con just for them.
He was good at that, and if he can do that, why can't he do it properly?
Exactly. Now, my question is,
and I think that Mick in EastEnders got enough to contend with at the moment. His wife's carrying the baby from, Max Branning, and he's got enough. He doesn't need this for his daughter as well.
I don't get that reference.
Sorry, I interrupted you very rudely.
You weren't listening after that big lecture.
Yeah. I wasn't listening.
No, I've got to ask you. So obviously you're an accountant, and you have lots of people coming through the door needing help and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
How can you spot the Sammies out of them, the scammers and the whatever, out of people that are going to be good and you can have a good? Because obviously it's a relationship, isn't it?
Yeah.
How do you spot them?
Yeah. Well, I have a very big advantage from most people in stopping these relationships forming, because they form relationships with you, they become your friends, and I have a massive advantage. It's my personality, it stops people being coming close. But just look at the guy that smiles too quickly, that gets too personal too quickly, that's doing you too many favours, that is too interested in you and he's only just met you. But I think in business, I think the problem in business is not so much being...
Was that a dig at me then?
In what way?
Smiling too much.
Do you smile a lot?
And offering things.
Yeah, you've got nice teeth. If I had nice teeth like that, I'd also smile a lot. and you don't have a lot of problems in life, do you? Because you just sort of drift in and out, don't you, really? But
yeah, that's exactly my life.
Yeah, you do. You do. You've got no worries, no problems.
Just float through. Yeah.
You just get your bottle at night, and what we were saying about being. I think a lot of people in business are not as easily conned as other people. I think they've grown up a little bit. They've seen the hardships in life. They know nothing comes that easy. I think the biggest problem for small businesses falls under the FOMO rules, which is fear of missing out. So you get drawn into things, and trying to take the easy option. So you think if you spend someone £1,000, they'll go and generate you 10,000 clients or customers, and you're just giving them £1,000. So it's not so much the con men as much as the people that say they're going to do jobs and then they just can't perform on them. I mean, I had some people down to see me a few weeks ago, and it came along on the back of a telephony system, but they didn't come in to sell it. They just came in, they followed staff around, they looked at what we do, looked at how we use the telephone system, and they got to know us, and they didn't charge us for that appraisal, and they're putting together a package that might suit us. So a lot of people just come in and say, there you go, give me £1,000, give me £500, and they don't even know what you need. So it's just again, FOMO. Fear of missing out. Don't worry about it. If a deal comes to you, too good to be true, it is. And if it's a big deal, it's outside your normal trading, then just carry on with everyday work, and you won't get conned. Sorry, Graham.
We've got Last Game watching from London.
Hi, hello.
And, Last Game is not a fan of London. He says that if it was a horse, they would shoot it.
Right.
There we go.
I don't get that.
I'm not a big fan of London either, to be honest. Not that I've got any problem with it. It's
with
just,
London?
Yeah, it's just the same as Manchester. I go all the way there and I'm like, this is the same.
Sorry, but I'm not understanding the relevance of the London comment. Did I say something there?
No, that's just where he's watching from.
Oh, okay. Well, London's, it's London. Right. No, you've interrupted my chain of thought there, Last Game, honestly,
I thought I was being nice, put me
So spotting crooks, I think you know who the crooks are. I think you know what you're dealing with. Don't get caught up in it. And older people and people that are not in business, just also remember, nothing's going to come to you easily, and don't part with your money. And it's a shame. So I've done that page, haven't I? Right.
The whole page. Yeah, the whole page.
You wanted me to talk.
Just 6 more to go.
Freedom Day on Monday. Are you all excited? Everyone excited?
Yes.
Yeah. Are you going to wear your mask?
No.
You're not going to wear it?
No.
Oh, I am.
As little as possible.
No, I've never been one for going near big crowds or in busy places, because even without COVID, there's been lots of other diseases. And this is an excuse. I like wearing the mask when I'm out, because when you see people, you don't have to smile at them and pretend you like them and whatever. And you've got all these really ugly people. I mean,
I've been practicing. Look.
What, being ugly?
No, he's smiling at me, mask, look.
Actually, you can tell if someone's smiling just by their eyes and the funny look, but I'm not.
I want them to know.
I think it's a bit of a strange thing to promote it as if it's like, okay, we're relaxing restrictions. You don't have to wear masks anymore. You can have bigger crowds going out, but should they perhaps be promoting it? Are they so desperate to be popular they've got to promote something like that? I'm not sure what's going on. I mean, the COVID rates, they're going to go up, but is the question, because you're more attuned to this than me?
Yes.
Is the question whether the metric we should be watching, or whether how many people are getting seriously ill and dying, and does it matter whether 50,000 people get COVID and they recover very quickly and they don't even notice they've got it?
Well, there's 2 things required for us opening. One was breaking the link between hospitalisations and deaths, which has happened.
Yeah.
That link has definitely been broken.
Yeah.
And then even with the projections they have that are awful, we're looking at 100 to 200 hospitalisations a day, which is below our usual 1,000.
So maybe the government are doing the right thing to say, right, you've not got it, go and catch it now. We've got herd immunity, we're okay, and we can cope with it.
Yeah, we're at the point we've got to get on with our lives. The thing is, though, like we're not allowed more than 12 people in here, you know, so now we can do that if we want. We can ramp up. And it's businesses as well.
Well, just on that note, somebody asked me before from the audience, so, I'm talking to you now. They said to me, what should they do about allowing people into their shop without a mask on? And because I believe some of the big firms like what would come Big Bookshop, Waterstones
and Sainsbury's come out very strong at saying they're going to keep the masks.
But with a small business, you don't really have that choice because you've not got that strength. So I think the answer is if you've got a business that is strong and you're happy and you can afford to turn away custom, then and you're a big burly guy like Hayden, then you can afford to put that in place. But if you're a small firm and you rely on the customers, sometimes you just got to go with what your customers want. So if your customers come on the shop, you can always put a sign up, please put your mask on, because you're very, very ugly and we don't want to look at you. Or you can put a sign up, but maybe not enforce it. So I think that's my take on that.
I think that's it. It's all about the small businesses.
It's all about
100%.
choice, isn't it?
It's fine if Sainsbury's, you can pay a whole wage, put someone on the door to turn people away and harass people.
Yeah.
But if your margins are a lot tighter than that and you're just a little corner shop or whatever, you need the freedom to just let go.
You just need to go with the flow.
Especially if you're vaccinated. And you're
well, I think it's fear, isn't it? But if you're, it's just that a lot of people are going out and saying things, and at the end of the day, you've got to go with what your customers want. And if you really don't want to do that, then again, make sure you're in a stronger position, or just don't open up just yet if you can. But there was another Freedom Day. There's a much older one. It's actually Tax Freedom Day. You won't have heard of him, but have you heard of Adam Smith?
Who?
Adam Smith. Here's where we get clever and intellectual.
That's the beer, isn't it?
No, it's not the beer. He was an 18th century, mid 18th century economist, philosopher, clever guy, and he actually set the standard for modern day economics. He wrote a famous book called the Wealth of Nations. And it's a marvellous book, marvellous. I've never read it because it's too long and it's got big words in it, but it's he's there. But anyway, Tax Freedom Day. There's an institute called the Adam Smith Institute, and they measure how long it takes from the start of the year before how many days people have got to work to pay their tax bill, and they've worked out, was it sometime in March? That is that another tax date? Is that another date?
March was my guess.
Yeah.
I said right, so I reckon.
It was a guess.
This is like.
It is written down somewhere, but I've forgotten.
No, yeah. So I can tell you if you want, because I've got it right here. In the UK, you have to work until the 30th of May.
The 30th of May. That's to earn enough money to pay your tax bill.
After the 30th of May, everything you earn is yours.
Yeah. Obviously, it changes depending on your tax rates and where you are in life. I mean, with Graham, he's worked 6 hours and he's broke even.
And in the USA,
which is about right, because it's all he ever does work.
we're still riding me out.
You're still on that.
Well, it's just interesting because in the USA they worked it out. This is 2020, by the way, both years. That it's April the 16th, so they get a much better deal than the rest of us.
Yeah. Okay, but we're in the UK, so bear that in mind. What date did you say?
April the 16th.
So April the 16th, you will have paid you'll have earned all your tax for the year. Interesting how they calculate things, isn't it? Iceland was in the news.
Yes.
Iceland. Do you know, years ago.
We need to end the propaganda on this one, sir.
Well, years ago, Iceland, my little girl, she was about 3, and my youngest, and I was saying, at the time, there was a cheap trip to Iceland in the paper. And my little girl said, "Oh, I went to Iceland with Grandma last week." And that was quite good. But, they've done some naughtiness, haven't they, some propaganda here to lower the week's hours of working.
Well, we fell for it. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago, the 4-day week. It's been on the BBC and The Independent and The Guardian.
It's not true.
No, the whole thing's a lie.
No.
This whole Icelandic experiment with 1% of the population didn't happen. It literally didn't happen.
Yeah.
And 86% of the population have now had reduced hours, but reduced from the highest in Europe to just about what we've got here. That's the end result.
They're just a load of snowflakes, aren't they? I mean, this is a country that's got March the 1st as National Beer Day. Can you take their word from? They're all a lot of drunks, but it might be a beautiful country and it might be a really efficient place. But does the working week, is it that important? Because here's another economist. What is his name? John Maynard Keynes. Have you heard of him?
Yeah.
You don't like him?
No, I don't.
Why?
I'm not getting into this again.
Oh.
We've only got 10 minutes left.
Oh. Well,
I don't like him in the same way that I don't like Marx. In that stuff he said wasn't necessarily bad, but that it...
Well, you wouldn't like Marxism, would you? Because you're a fascist.
Is that right? Fascists love Marx.
No, they don't.
They do.
Go and read your politics. No, they don't. So...
I'm on another level, Stephen.
Yeah, I guess.
Don't even try it.
No. This just looking at weekly work. You know, I've known people. I mean, my dad's in the audience. I remember as a kid, my dad would be working 50, 60 hours a week and then come home and work till the earliest hours of the morning, because you know, work is what you do to get ahead. If you're in the business world, you shouldn't be monitoring your hours. You do what needs to be done. I mean, I was saying about John Keynes. He was advocating 4-day week many years ago. He actually was saying that the idea was that if you need 100 widgets and it takes a week to make those 100 widgets, then that's what it takes. So you've got a 5-day working week. But if you've got, by technology or other means, a way of producing those same widgets in 3 days, then we should only have to work 3 days. Unfortunately, because of marketing and because of the want consumerism, we can produce the same widgets in 2 hours, but now we want thousands of widgets. And every year we want a different colour widget. So consumerism has made us have to work more and more to produce the same thing. I mean, we're getting into the subject of potential UBI, which I've got a great article on UBI. If anybody wants it, I'll send it to you. But UBI, Universal Basic Income, where everybody basically gets a wage and they don't have to work. But if you do work, you get the UBI on top of your wages. That's the theory behind it. And during lockdown and furlough, we've put people in a position where they are getting sort of paid for not doing very much. And it's like, well, has that time been well spent? So if everybody could not work but still get their basic income, would they do anything useful with that time? What would you do if you had UBI?
I think the people who would do something useful with that time are already doing something useful with
that's what I think. I think if you're already working, you're already doing it, then the extra money is always great. Sorry, Hayden.
I think it's worth pointing out that during lockdown with the people on furlough, the amount of people having a successful side hustle, starting up online businesses, and generally starting a second business increased quite dramatically.
Which can improve into bigger businesses. So there's the opposite argument. You know.
Oh yeah. No, there's a few new businesses started, and we completely tanked the economy. Yeah. Great. You know.
Well, the economy's not tanked. We're doing quite well, really, and we'll do even better. And we'll heat up, and lots of money will be made. Yeah, we'll be all right. Don't lie awake up night. You know, we'll all be okay. It'll all pan out well, and we're fine. We're fine. We had a nice conversation about cars before. You know, and that's good, because Hayden was normally not worried about where he's going to get his new car from, but where he was going to get his next meal from. And now we can actually say,
Excuse me.
Yeah, go on.
That's never been a problem I've ever had in my entire life.
No. I'm getting mixed up. The new subsidy control bill, that's... That could be good. I'm not going to get into the politics of that, but you know, and I know I've been given a headline to talk about the subsidy control bill, but you know what? What people don't realise is that the government do give out all sorts of grants and all sorts of allowances, and sometimes they'll even support failing companies. I'm not going to get into the hows and whys, because all these grants are promised, but they're not always given, and you've got to jump through a few hoops. But it's worth having a go. So coming up on the screen as I'm talking is an email. In fact, there's two. So if you go ahead and take a note of these emails, and then contact the local council and these departments, and they'll guide you into what you have to do in order to get these grants and these tax subsidies and everything else. Now, I'm not going to do it for you, because I can be on the phone for half an hour. You know, so go and do that. Get the basics of what applies to you, and then if you still need some help from me, by all means contact me, and we'll work out what we can do to fit you into that area. I think that's fair enough, isn't it, Graham?
It's all in the description as well, mate.
Is it? Have you put it there?
You know, everything's in the description. Everything that's on the screen. What do you think of this? We just had a comment related to this.
Okay.
It's last game. Last game's on fire.
He
today.
likes me tonight.
Yeah.
London must be so boring at the moment.
He said, working's a mug's game.
Yeah.
If you work hard all your life, the government will come along and take it all from you when you're old.
Yeah, but you've got to do something in the meantime, and you've always got that chance of beating the system. But only fools and horses and all that. But,
I beat the system.
Go on.
My missus went to Aldi.
Yeah.
And he was so busy talking about Captain America t-shirt.
You shoplifted something.
No.
Oh.
She gave him the money. She gave him the money,
Yeah.
and he gave her the money back plus the change they should have got.
Oh, okay.
And she didn't realise till she got home.
That's
she
all
was
right.
like,
We beat the system. We diddled Aldi.
We made about 11 quid that day, so
That's
awesome.
amazing. It's amazing. You're going to feed out for years to come, aren't you? No, I actually personally think that work is more than just about money. And if you can get some purpose in your life and get some purpose, it keeps you going through the hard times as well. Are we going to end on quote of the day?
If you like, yeah, of course we can.
Or is there anything else you want to talk about before we go? Have I forgotten anything?
Lots of stuff.
Name something. Name one.
No, it's okay.
Because I haven't forgotten anything.
There's literally the story you've just done there.
Yeah.
There's one between.
Oh, where? Which one?
Between the subsidy control bill.
Oh, the events industry.
Yeah.
The events industry.
Yeah.
Well, of course they should. I think the government should step in a lot more and guarantee a lot of.
You can't just say, of course they should.
Well, they should. They should.
In a show.
No.
Of course
They should. I was going to come to that.
Go on.
Do you know? Honestly, I mentioned it on a previous podcast that the government were insuring events in the event of a lockdown, and they've sort of reneged a bit on some of it. But do push the government for this insurance, and I think the government could do a lot more to get the small business boosting in by guaranteeing events, by offering insurances, and even helping with promotions. Go on, what have I missed?
This is why Freedom Day is so important, because it removes the legal
but it's not
requirement.
It's not helping the businesses by promoting Freedom Day. It's just saying to the public, you can go out and get pissed and have parties with 20,000 people in it. I'm saying, let's have some specific help for small businesses. Let's put coaches on, or free transport into shopping centres. And do you know, years ago, Asda used to have a bus. And it used to travel around the area, and it was a free bus, and people used to get on it, and it used to take them to Asda, and then home again with the shopping.
Amazon does that with their workers.
But we don't like Amazon.
Well, they do, but Amazon does do.
Well, they're back from outer space, aren't they?
Yeah. Oh, is he back? Did he survive?
I think they're back. Yeah.
I've not been keeping an eye on all that, to be honest.
No, I think we're going to have a Virgin Amma Verge. No, do you think they'll merge?
Nah, competition.
Do you think, while they were in space together, do you think they were having sex together? Or can I not say that?
What, you mean Richard Branson when that young lady was up there?
No, with Bezos.
They didn't go up together.
Didn't they go? I thought they went up together.
No.
Oh, so they weren't having sex together then? I thought that's the only point of them going to.
They didn't go up together.
I can't talk like this, can I? I'm getting into the Hayden show idea. So
you're going somewhere.
Well, because we mentioned Elon Musk.
Yes.
Oh, can I just say that Hayden said the other day that I was a really bad parent. No, seriously. My daughter went online to find some derogatory terms for Italian people so she could shout abuse for the Sunday game. And Hayden thought that was bad parenting from me because she should have already known them.
Yeah.
She shouldn't have had to look them up.
You have failed. Yeah.
I have. I know that. But we're going back to quote of the day.
Are we going to sneak it in just before?
Get it in before the end.
All right. It is, and this is relevant with your space talk. This is I hate being the boss, and that's Elon Musk. He hates being the boss.
Hence separate pods for them. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I hate being a boss.
Well, the reason I put this in is it reminds me of, when you start a business and you do well, and you've got a passion and you excel, and then suddenly you've got 30 employees.
Yeah, it's true.
You're not doing what you did anymore.
Being a boss and managing people and motivating people it's great if you want to have an early heart attack. It's great if you feel that grey hair is the colour. But it can be very stressful. But some people like it. It shouldn't be an ego thing. And it shouldn't be, hey, look at me, I'm the boss. It should be a way of proper managing people. And you know what I regret many years ago in when I started my own business in not doing a management training course on how to be a boss, because there's all sorts of tips and things you can use, and some of them are very good, very insightful, and if it can stop you hating people, then that's good as well. I think that's it, isn't it? Anything to add to that?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
It's the end of the show.
Well, thank you for joining me. It is the end of the show. I'm Stephen Englander. Do feel free to follow me. Do feel free to tune in next week. Do feel free to come and join us in the studio. Have a lovely week. Thank you. Good night.